this is Sim here. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the 5 steps to creating the life that you desire. So let's start with step number 1. Now step number 1 is really crucial, right? Without this, there is it is the foundation, the foundational, whatever you want to say it. And without this, you can't actually move forward. So the first step will be to decide, and there will be always that moment of decision, right? There will be that one moment in life, right? I think I'm saying that, give me one moment in time, that sort of thing. Yeah. So there will be this one moment in your life that you kind of know deep within your heart and your soul that you want that something, whatever that something is, and that is your point of decision. And when you decide, it's got to be a burning desire. It's got to be a burning desire that just is what you want, and you will know it, you will feel it in every fiber of your being. And so it's very different from, I think I want this. It will be really great if I can have $1 million. No, it's not like that, right? So that moment of decision, you will know because it is fire in the belly. It's passion. It's like, I want this. And no matter what, I am going for it. Like that kind of passion. So then moving on to the second stage will be the intention. Now, what I would suggest is the intention would be something very general, like probably even high level, because we want to get you basically into the energy of what exactly it is that you want. So let me give you an example when I say it's a high level intention. So when I first started making that intention, I was 10 years old, right? And I tell the story about how I got really annoyed because somebody told me that I can't be a success in life. Like, not exactly in that language, but that was what it was. And in that moment, I was so angry, and at the very, there was fire in my belly, and I just told myself that I'm gonna be a success. So the overall intention that I set, which was a burning fire in the belly, was that I am going to be a success. And that was this, umbrella thing, right? So I didn't actually break it down to be like, I'm going to be a CEO, or I'm going to make 50,000, what am I saying, 50,000? Like 50,000 a month, that kind of thing, right? I wasn't dialing it into the specific. I just knew that I was going to be a success. So that is this intention and the fire in the belly that does not necessarily need to be that little tiny goals, and that come on the next step. So all right, so after you've done the first two, which really sets the stage, when you have that fire in the belly, when you really want to set the intention to move forward, you will start setting goals for yourself. And to me, it was just very natural. I just start setting goals for myself without, even going for all these mindset courses. I mean, when I was 10 years old, I didn't know that Tony Robbins existed. And so I just set goals for myself, without knowing the actual process, but I was actually doing it my whole life. So I started setting goals I give you the example of when I was up to 12 years old. I couldn't speak a word of English, and one of the goals that I set was that I needed to speak English. And so I decided when I was 13 years old that I am going to speak English, and I'm going to speak it fluently. And I did all that I need to do, like going to the library, getting books, reading every day, thinking, writing, whatever in English, and the rest is history, right? So I set mini little goals to achieve the overall big goal that I wanted to achieve. And so you can do that too. I mean, just set the mini goals, and that mini goals will translate to your bigger goal. And then as I go forward in life, in my corporate career, I just set okay, I'm gonna make this much by this age, and I actually would set an amount that I want to make. And so can you set that amount and do whatever feels good for you, because it is actually your goal and how you want to do it. And so do whatever that makes you feel lighted up, that feels like this is what I want, right? And do not compare it with like, oh, if I set this goal of X amount of dollar, and then you start looking at somebody else's goal, and that's not the point. The point is you are where you're at, and you know, if making $10 is a huge achievement for you, then that's it, that's your achievement. So you know, I remember I was coaching a client of mine. She was a housewife when she came to know me, and you can actually see her on my website if you want to have a look. Her name is Sarah Labra, and when we first met, virtually meet, she was a housewife. And when she first set a goal, it was like making $10 for her sessions. And she was so excited. She was so excited because just making that $10 is very exciting for her. And she started with that, and now obviously she has moved on way beyond that. I think the last round I checked, she was charging like about $100 an hour, and it could be more now. So I don't know. So whatever it is, if you are an online coach, then yeah, it will be like the prices that you charge. And if you are in corporate, then it will be like the salary, the increment, the bonus, you know, that kind of stuff. If you're having a business, then obviously you have targets that you want to set for your business. All right, so those are goals that you can set. Now then we go on to the fourth step. So when you actually set your goals, you are going to get some really funkiness around why you can't do something. And it happens to all of us. It doesn't matter who you are. I mean, we're all humans, and you know, even if you're like making $1 million now, you'll find that for you to hit the next, like, okay, so let's say last year you hit $1 million, and now you want to go on to your next goal, which is to hit $2 million a year. And you are going to find funky limiting beliefs that comes up. So it doesn't matter where you are, whether you are like trying to make $1 million, or whether you're trying to make $10, or whether, like, isn't that amazingly strange? And at the same time, it is so common that it doesn't matter where you are, you will always feel stuck at some point, because you always feel stuck at the level that you are comfortable with, and then you personally just need to shift up and move up to the next level. All right, so there will be a lot of funkiness, a lot of limiting beliefs that will come out for you. Now, I wanted to share that when I first did this, when I was 10 years old, I didn't have any limiting beliefs, and I'm very sure that I didn't, because I was not even thinking about, could I make it, could I be a success. I did not think about that. Like, it didn't even cross my mind. And it could be because I was 10, so it's so much easier when you're 10. But as I grow older, obviously I have a lot of funkiness around my goals and what I desire to achieve. So just to share with you, when I moved into sales in my corporate job, I had a lot of funkiness around selling. And my limiting belief is really around like, this thing of selling is something that is very hard because I can't control it. I can't really control what people want to do, whether they want to buy or they don't want to buy. And that was my belief. I also believe that it is like it is, to me, was almost impossible, because I didn't come from a sales background. I came from like consulting and delivery and all of that, like IT software, blah blah. And so going into sales was really hard. It was a journey that, okay, so I always pride myself that I know how to do this thing. I know how to do sales. I'm just like really good at doing sales. But when I actually do it, I'm like, but this is hard. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to hit that $1 million target and whatever it is. And so when I shifted, I remembered when I shifted, and I decided to tell myself that I am going to close the sale by a certain date, which was at that time September. Immediately in 2 months, I closed the sale. I was chasing the sale for 2 years, and in 2 months I closed the sale when I changed my mind and I changed my story. So I've got another video, I think it is just in IGTV in Instagram, that says change your story and you can change your life. So it's really about getting rid of your limiting beliefs and starting to tell a new story, or to restory them, so that you start to believe in your new story. And I know it sounds like almost ridiculous. I mean, I still remember like coaching one of my clients. She didn't come from all this mindset background at all. It was really new to her. She's corporate, and she was in this job. She wasn't closing sales for 9 months, and then after doing that one-to-one coaching with me, she actually went ahead and she closed a sale, like two huge sale within like less than 3 months. And it is all about changing your mind and changing your belief. And when she started to like reaffirm her new story, um, things started to change. And I know it sounds a bit bizarre. If you have not done this before, it sounds bizarre, but try it. Trust me, try it. um, the only thing I would say is, and by the way, that's step 5. Step 5 is tell a new story. Look at your limiting beliefs and tell a new story, and then affirm it to yourself. Like every day, just tell yourself that, whatever it is that you want. Like if you want to make $10,000 a month, or if you want to make like whatever that amount or the goal is, whether you want to get a new job or get a promotion, get a raise, um, have XXX, whatever the results, right? And the beauty of it is that the moment you put your energy behind something, the moment you believe that it is going to happen, your reality starts to change. It may not change like immediately. For some people it does, but for some people it actually changes immediately. For some people it takes time, but it is going to change. So where is the work? The work is really looking at your belief and retelling a story, your new story, every single day, every single second if you can. And every time you get into the funkiness of, oh my god, this is not working, I'm not gonna get that XXS, and that's when you need to really start reframing, right? It's really reframing. And it sounds like as though, like, is it that simple? Like, is that all you need to do to create success in your life? From what I experienced I'm now 53 years old, so in my 53 years of life, um, yes, that is what you need. That's foundational. It's like everything else doesn't matter if you don't believe. Um, and what else I want to say? And the thing is, you can have, do or be what you want if only you believe you can. And every time you believe that you can't, then you can't. Our belief is really that thing, that underlying energy that will propel us forward or backwards, and it works both ways. And so I'm a great proponent of believing and then taking the action, because you can't take the actions if you don't believe. I mean, there are times in my business where I'm like thinking, certain things, like certain funkiness that come up. And when I'm in that certain funkiness, I know I don't take the action, right? And even in corporate, like there were times in my corporate life, like trying to get sales, and I just like, oh, how does that even work? And it doesn't work, right? So we're all human. It's not like, I'm saying that we will all go through periods of funkiness, which is why it's very important to be like listening to audios or videos of people who are just talking about this. And if you can listen to this repeatedly, because it isn't something that you can do once. Like if you watch this video and you like it, you can actually just watch this video again and again and again and again, because you can actually infuse so much of the, not just the process. It is really about infusing the energy and believing that it's possible, and then just getting into your system, because at the end of the day, it's really about reprogramming your neural pathways. That's what I said to just one of my member of Drop the Struggle and Step into Your Abundance. I actually told her that you need to do this often. You need to do this often because we are so conditioned to think of everything negatively. Like I seldom meet people in my corporate life that is positive. Like it's so hard to meet somebody who is positive. In my life, right, whether it's church or whatever, I find it hard to actually meet people who is positive. And most of the people that you meet is going to complain, is going to say things sucks, da da da, whatever. So it's really hard to actually find somebody who is in the energy of like everything is the plus, is always the negative. And so you need to get into the vibe and the energy of everything being positive to make you believe, to propel you forward. And these are all really good energy. And in case you have not heard of David Hawkins, he wrote the book The Power versus Force. And I haven't personally written the book. Sorry, what am I saying? Written? I haven't personally read the book myself, but this book talks about how this. I think he's a scientist and he measures vibration, and I've actually seen that the vibration of love is 500, and any other like really good feeling vibration is like peace, hope, joy, all the good stuff is actually a vibration of 500 and above. And anything that has to do with shame, guilt, anger, depression, worry, doubt, everything is below 500. And the entire human race is being measured at the vibration of about 200, which is about correct. I mean, basically, if you actually look at the people that you mingle with, that's the vibration that they kind of like, have. And it's only recently when I'm a coach and I'm going online and I actually see a lot of people who are vibrating at a much higher vibration. And if you actually uh, stop to notice that people who are vibrating at a high level of vibration, they're always having a lot of successes in their life, in almost every area of their life, whether it's money, whether it's whatever it is. And so money and abundance does go along with who you are and what you're vibrating at. That's just really my belief. So yeah, and that's the 5 steps, and I have included quite a lot of like chatter and rift about different things that it comes out in my mind, and I hope that has been useful for you. And if it is useful for you, give me a thumbs up, like this video. And if you are on is it Instagram? Yeah, if you're on Instagram, yeah, just comment below if you have any question. If you are on YouTube, do subscribe, and there will be more of such videos coming up. All right. So before I go away, I just wanted to say that I have a link below. It's called Drop the Struggle and Step into Your Abundance. I may want to change this into Drop the Struggle and Elevate into God's Abundance. I think that is such a beautiful name. Because I totally believe that, like Jesus said, that I have come that you may have life and life abundantly. So I totally believe that God wants us to be abundant, right? And so I've got this 8-module course that really talks about so many different things. I mean, I really go into, it's not just 5 steps, it's 8 modules, and every module goes into deep into a lot of stuff like inner child healing, loving yourself, blah blah blah, lots of it. And I just wanted you to kind of like go click the link, look at all the different modules, see whether it resonates with you, and if it does, you can sign up for the course, and I'll be happy to have you, because we have a Facebook group. You can go in, it's all, I mean, the course is now all recorded, and all you need to do is just go in and watch and do the homework and do the journaling, and see your life change, just with watching the digital recorded course and doing the journaling. Yeah, and one more thing before I go, I wanted to talk about journaling. I haven't really been journaling almost all my life until recently. And even when people tell me journal, 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 and I'm like, why do I need to journal? And I can tell you that this is one of the, if you haven't actually started practicing, do practice journaling. And when you're doing a digital course like this and you do the work and you actually do the journaling, it is going to massively transform your lives. Trust me. I know, because I did it myself, and I have actually seen people who does that and create courses where they get people to do journaling, and really massive change happen, to the extent that I'm thinking that it is the second best thing to one-to-one coaching. So what I want to say is, if you're catching this video before the 23rd of March 2019, I have a offer that's going on, and that is, if you sign up for the 8-module course, which has 2 bonus modules, you are going to get an hour of coaching session from me, so that you can clear up all your doubts, things that you just want to get out of your head. And that's the power of coaching, where you can talk to somebody and get things out of your head, and then you will see the light. You will see the light that sometimes we can't see for ourselves, right? So that is included if you sign up before 23rd of March 2019. If you watch this video after that, then it's just going to be the normal regular 8 module plus 2 bonus module, which I think the 2 bonus module are really great because one of it is I offer you the foundation, and the foundation is really about like why does mindset work, like I give you all the science behind it. And then there is a bonus module from a client of mine who is now a coach, and she's teaching on dream interpretation, and you'll get a module on dream interpretation, like in a godly way, right? In the biblical godly way. So I'm so excited. If you would like to join me, it would be such an honor to have you in my course. The last time I launched it, it was like in 2018, and the women in the group and myself, we have a whole lot of fun, and I'm hoping to see you in this new course. So I will see you soon on the other side. Ciao.